Fellow Rotarians and guests, please raise your glasses as we drink today, as we propose a toast to the Republic of Ghana.
The Republic of Ghana.
Thank you very much. Rotarian PPLE. Good looking in the punk. Haircut. Makes you look like 12 years younger, or maybe 20 years younger. Can you please lead us in the Rotary prayer song?
Okay, let me try playing it. Can you hear the song in the background?
No.
No, please.
Okay, so let's go. I'll sing it. We all sing along. Inspire Rotarians, Lord, we ask one, go. Inspire Rotarians, Lord, we ask to lead us the process. Dignify the daily task and self-bless. For
fellowship we share,
we offer thanks to thee. We pray that we too be helped to spread this gospel. Amen. Thank you, John President.
Thank you very much, PPLE, for the singing. that was marvelous. Singing from various parts of the world. Rotary is good. Now, the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. 1, is it the truth? 2, is it fair to all concerned? Fellow Rotarians, I want you to recite the four-way test with me, please. We're going to start again. Fellow Rotarians and guests, the four-way test of the things we say, we think, say, or do. 1,
is it the truth?
Is it the truth?
2,
Is it fair to all concerned?
All concerned?
Will it build goodwill and better friendship?
Goodwill and better friendship.
4,
Will it be
beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you very much, fellow Rotarians and guests. Please try as much as possible to lead your lives and consider four-way test in all your dealings with everybody at all times. Now, I would like to proceed with some announcements. As you all are aware, we have a major project coming on the 23rd of March, which is our beach cleaning and tree planting event. I'm pleased to announce to you that we have some confirmations and some payments have been made. For example, Malta Guinness is coming on board on Monday. We're also going to have some meetings with them. They are yet to confirm if the meeting is coming on, but basically Malta Guinness is coming on in grand style. They're coming on with their staff and also to sponsor with some drinks and paraphernalia, etc., etc., etc. So it's looking good in that regard. Also, I would like to encourage all of you to register for the upcoming foundation concert. It promises to be exciting. I've had a look at some of the artists that will be performing, and I think that it's going to be amazing. I hope that I know that at least 12 of us are going from the club. PPLA, will you be there? You want to fly private and come and join us at the
I hope to be there.
foundation concert. So please try as much as possible to register and pay. Thirdly, I would like to bring to your notice that the RLI training is up again, and I have already registered and paid to partake for the second part. And I encourage everybody who is a Rotarian to be part of this exercise. It was a pleasurable learning experience for me. The lessons that I've learned, I am actually using right now in the club, and it is working like magic. And I encourage everybody to try and register for the RLI training. I think it's 300 cedis ahead or so. Do we have any apologies, please? No apologies? Okay. PP, so have we, is there anything that I've left out as per the announcements?
No.
Would you like to add anything there?
No.
Okay. Okay, so next up, Rotarian Jude. Are you there?
Yeah, okay.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you, RP?
Nice. I'm excellent. I was just prior to the meeting, I was drinking the coffee that you brought for me from Rwanda. I want to say thank you so much for your kindness. Can you please proceed
Awesome,
with
sir.
the object of Rotary, please?
Thank you. The object of Rotary. The object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service as a basis of worthy enterprise, and in particular to encourage and foster, number one, the development of acquaintance as an opportunity for service. Second, high ethical standards in business and professions. The recognition of the worthiness of all useful occupations and the dignifying of each Rotarian's occupation as an opportunity to serve society. Third, the application of the ideal of service in each Rotarian's personal, business, and community life. Fourth, the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship of business and professional persons united in the ideal of service. Thank you, RP.
Thank you very much, Rotarian Jude, for adding your sonorous voice to this meeting. It's very much appreciated. I also like to include that I left out something that has to do with the beach cleaning project that is coming up. All Rotarians are highly encouraged all Rotarians are encouraged to make generous donations to the project, because there's a lot that we are doing, that we're going to be doing. We are trying to create an access road onto the beach so that we can have probably some mechanized cleaning, if possible, so we can make a huge impact on the project this time. The other thing is that have we all had a look at the previous minutes, please?
Yes, LP, I have.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I have as well.
Okay, so would are there any questions to the minutes, or can somebody move for the adoption of the minutes?
I move for adoption. This is CP Shika. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any seconder, please?
I, Rotarian Felix, second the motion.
Thank you very much, Rotarian Spudo, Felix, and Rotarian Shika. We like to acknowledge the contribution of Rotarian Albert Agbemenu, who gave us a very, very generous donation for the beach cleaning. I'd like to encourage all of you. Nothing is too small. There's a lot to be done, a whole lot to be done. We want to make a difference this time around. You know, take the beach clean. And we've done a lot of work in the past. We've done a lot of work with regards to the beach cleaning in the past, but the time has come for us to take it up another notch, another dimension, a sustainability twist to it, make it more impactful, get more partners in diverse forms, getting people to actually cater to these trees and make sure that they thrive and thrive well. We're hoping that in the next 2 years, when we go, we can go back and say, okay, well, we planted these trees X number of years ago. We actually taking drinking the coconut juice or something, you know. And also, I would like to say that all our Rotarians and guests should please endeavor to rename their devices so that we could recognize who they are easily, for the sakes of attendance. Yeah. Okay. The other thing is that I would like to remind you that the four-way test project is a project that is ongoing. Basically, we are going to distribute frame four-way tests to schools and businesses within the catchment area. I can confirm that we already have some of them framed and available. And I encourage all of you to try as much as you can to present these four-way tests to the nearest organizations to you as much as you can, and take pictures and let them understand the importance of the four-way test. And also use opportunity to spruce up your knowledge as per the origins of the four-way test and how far we've come with it. Remember that there are 1.4 million Rotarians worldwide who believe in this, and I think that the more people that we have believing in the four-way test, the more impact that we can make as a people by treating each other with fairness. Right. Does anybody have any questions with regard to the statements that I've made so far? Does anybody seek any clarification whatsoever? Okay. So, it's time for the main agenda. Rotarian Felix, are you there?
Yes, LP, I'm here.
All right, thank you very much. Could you please introduce our guest speaker for the evening?
All right, thank you very much, LP. Please, to this evening, we have Francis Mensah Otta, a chartered accountant, masters in international business, manager of technical and research at Institute of Chartered Accountants, Ghana, and a business consultant, CDC Consult Limited. RP, our speaker, Mr. Francis Mensah Otta. Mr. Francis Mensah Otta, welcome to Rotary Club of Accra-Spintex. Please, you may take over.
Thank you very much. Good evening to everyone. Please kindly confirm whether you can hear me.
Yes, please, you can hear you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I'd like to go straight to my presentation because it's been intimated to me that I have 20 minutes for presentation and about 5 minutes of questions and answers. If you don't mind, I'd like to share my slide. Can I go ahead, please?
Yes, you may, sir.
Okay, so I'm sharing just about 6 slides with 4 slides of content. For some couple of weeks now, I've been sharing my thoughts on personal financial management. And I need to mention that personal financial management is broad. It starts from personal budgeting to savings, to investments, to pensions, insurance, and all that. There are about 6 different thematic areas, and even loans as well. And so it's an area that requires extensive time to cover. What I've tried to do is that I've created a WhatsApp channel, on which channel I serialize the issues that I think are important, and I do it in just a matter of 1 minute. And so over the past couple of weeks, I've shared about 11 different videos on my WhatsApp channel, starting from how to develop a budget in the first place, and more importantly, how to make the budget work. Given that we have such a short time, I thought to focus on what's more important. For those of you who may be interested, after this session, I'll share my channel link with Felix, and then he may forward it to your platform so that those who are interested could go on there and look at the series of the videos. And when you do, please go to the very top and start from the first week video. And like I indicated, each video runs for about 60 seconds. And I've titled it Starting Your Week with 60 Seconds. I upload a video every Monday. And God willing, on 18th of February, I will be holding a live session for an hour and a half from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. to walk my people through how to develop a budget in the first place. But in this session, I want to assume that you may already have a budget some way, somehow, and I'd like to focus on how to make your personal budget work. But let me start with some initial reflections. If you may put in the chat box so that we can make progress, or you can unmute and respond. How many of us here have developed a personal budget before? You may put it in the chat box. You may unmute, or you may raise a hand just for me to see, get an idea of. Okay, I have one, at least Noche has. Okay, that's good. Any other person? You may put it in the chat box, please. Okay, so at least Noche has prepared a personal budget before. There's a hand from Eko Afedi. Eko has done that before. All right, let me ask, how did you do this budget? Did you use a spreadsheet? Did you do it on your phone, on a piece of paper, or a mental note? How exactly did you develop a personal budget? If you may put it in the chat box. For those of you who have developed a personal budget before, how did you develop it? Was it a spreadsheet you used? Okay, spreadsheet, and various ways. I like that. Spreadsheet and various ways. Yeah, sometimes they sit in different places. Some are in your head, some are on a paper, some are on your phone and all of that. Okay, that's quite interesting and helpful. Again, if I may ask, sincerely, are you able to follow your budget? Yes, no, sometimes, somehow. Are you able to follow your budget so far? Are you able to? Mostly? Okay. Okay. Mostly. That's good to know. Sometimes. Okay. All right. To a large extent. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. It means that I have a fairly good audience to deal with. But I'm getting response for just about 3 people. The rest of us, I want to assume that we've not developed a budget in the first place. And so following itself becomes a difficulty. But in the next couple of minutes, we'll see how best. Okay. Okay, PP Jennifer uses spreadsheet. Echo Afedi is able to follow the budget. PP Jennifer mostly is able to follow the budget. Okay, that's good. That's very good. Thank you for the feedback. It's very, very helpful. Right. Now, for most of us and a number of people that you may encounter, and I'm glad this is Rotary because you're supposed to be an agent of change, an agent of service. And so some of the lessons I may share here, you may be able to share with your colleagues, be it in your office, family members, whatsoever. Most of the time, the reasons personal budget may not work would be that they are mostly not well thought through. And unfortunately, I'm not treating how to develop a personal budget. Otherwise, I would have walked you through step by step how to develop a personal budget to make it comprehensive enough, especially the expenses side. We are always taken by surprise by one thing or the other. But I think that is what I will handle on 18th of February. So those of you may be available, you may join. But one of the reasons why personal budgets don't work is that mostly we tend not to think through it very well. If you do not think through the personal budget very well, before 2 weeks to the end of the month, your budget is already out of use. And they are mostly a wish list. In fact, and I will address that part quite shortly. Budget is not something that works by itself. They do not work by themselves. If it was so, if developing a budget was the thing, then everybody could. Indeed, in the world of accountancy, there is a big argument as to whether businesses should develop annual budget at all, because it is believed that at the end of the day, when you do a variance analysis, it is far different from what was thought through or what was developed as a budget. And so for most people, both persons and businesses and individuals and households, you tend to find that what actually happens and what is on their budget is at complete variance. Lack of discipline. In fact, majority of the things I'm going to talk about are issues of discipline. And if all of us will commit to be disciplined with our finances, I can pause here and we can all go home. In other words, I'm saying that all the things that I will share, if discipline doesn't lead, we will still come back someday and have the need to go through this again. Very, very important. Finally, inadequate insight into personal financial management, and I'll share a few of those insights. They are not exhaustive and they are not conclusive. I must mention that these are my thoughts and my experiences. Having developed my personal budget with spreadsheet for a number of years, I've seen what works, what doesn't work. So the thought I'm sharing are things I've personally experienced, things that I've discussed with other people, thoughts from other places, experiences from other places. And so feel free to share yours when we get to the Q&A side and ask the questions that you desire to ask. I don't have all the answers. We'll share our thoughts together. So let's get into it. I have just 2 slides of issues that I think we should pay attention to if we want our budget to work. Number one. I mentioned earlier that for some of us, the budget is a wish list, sorry. When we say you have a budget is a summary of your financial objectives for the period. And so you cannot start developing a budget simply because you will have income and you will have expenses. That's not. Budget is not a summary of income and expenses. Budget is personal objectives expressed in either quantitative or monetary terms. In our case, expressed in monetary terms. If it was a business, we would say expressed in quantitative terms. The money part of it is only about applying prices to them, and that's it. But a personal budget is not a list of your income and expenses, though it looks like projected income and expenses. They are actually an expression of your financial objectives for the period. In other words, you could have a monthly budget, you could have a weekly budget, depending on the way your income come in and the way your expenses are structured. And so the first thing that you need to note is that if you want your budget to work, they need to start from the point of having your budget reflect your personal financial objectives for the period. This week or this month, what do you wish to achieve with your finances? For example, you have fees ahead in the next 3 months. If that is the case, you may want to allocate substantial amount over the next 3 months to be able to pay fees. That becomes a financial objective that is expressed through a budget. Or this week, you may have some funeral ahead. You may have some naming ceremony. You may have, there's a part of your building project that you need to work on. There is a major repair on your vehicle that is supposed to be catered for. There has to be a particular objective that underlie the budget that you are establishing. The next thing I would like to talk about is to put away your savings first. Most of the time, the end goal of budget is to have adequate savings. Most of the time is to have adequate savings. Now, what we all try to do is that the money comes in. I want to assume majority of us here are on salary. So majority of us, the money come in at the beginning of the month. We begin to spend and spend and spend and spend, and we hope that at the end of the month, we will have some money to save. Anybody that has been doing that on this platform knows very well that it never works. It never works. And so the idea is that if you want your budget to work as far as your savings objective is concerned, I would encourage that you put away your savings as the very first thing. Just as those to pay your tithes before spending, I would encourage that you equally pay yourself first. Paying yourself first is to save. Paying yourself first is to put your savings away. So by all means, pay God if that is the case. If you're a non-Christian, whatever it is, put away the savings first. You may put a standing order on your account and then have it transferred every period of time. And perhaps you may want to even establish your budget without the savings amount. That way, you are likely to survive the period. Another thing I would suggest in making your budget work is that you make provision for leisure, emergencies, family, and friends. Let me start with leisure. A lot of people think that when we talk about budgeting, it means be stingy on yourself, be hard on yourself, do not have fun. Who says so? The only thing here is that you need to make provision for that leisure. Make a provision for that pizza you want to have, going out with family. The reason why you need to have leisure and fun is that it rejuvenates you and gives you the energy to go make the next dollar or the next CD or the next pound, wherever you may find yourself. So please build leisure into your life. It relaxes you, even if it's a fast food you want to grab, whatever makes you happy. Sitting at somewhere with friends at once in a month or whatever your idea of having fun will be. But by all means, let it be reflected in your spreadsheet as one that you have allocated funds for. And when you do that, then you will not spend, should I say, haphazardly or unplanned. So make provision for leisure, make provision for emergencies. A lot of us don't make provisions for emergencies in our budget. There has to be a fund that you've allocated to emergencies. It can be a percentage of your money, whether it's 5%, 10%, whatever it may be, so that you build a certain fund. Some try to solve that by having insurance for certain things, but there are some things that you can't have insurance for. For example, all of a sudden, the pipe in the house breaks and you need plumbing, you have a plumbing emergency whatsoever. Majority of us here may have private insurance that covers our health, so that is covered. If you don't have one, it's important that you probably put a medical insurance in place, but make provision for emergencies. And then family and friends. You may realize that you probably are a go-to person. Majority of your friends will come to you and all of that. It's not the best to shun them. Rather, I would propose that a portion of your budget is allocated to family and friends. And this is how you do it. For example, if you say 10% or 5% or 2%, whatever you come at, is dedicated to family and friends, that is the budget you have for the month for family and friends. When that budget is exhausted, it is exhausted. Indeed, it is advisable that in that fund that is allocated to family and friends, you actually do not spend more than 80% of that particular fund at any given point in time. In other words, even in family and friends account, you still have a reserve of about 20 to 30% in it at any point in time. Because sometimes some family and friend requests may come and it looks so urgent. Meanwhile, your budget may have been exhausted. By the time you build 20% of that fund every month for a period of time, when emergencies that are coming from family and friends show up, you may be able to. And let me also say, when you are giving monies to family and friends, don't think you can lend money to family and friends. They never pay. They have never paid. You know that they don't pay. In fact, some of us on this platform, we have borrowed from friends and family. We never paid. And so do not expect that family and friends will be paying you. In other words, when you are giving family and friends money, you give them what you can afford to lose. If you can't afford to lose it, it's not really advisable to lend to them. If they need loan badly, please let them go to a bank. You're not wicked. It's just the principle. I'm not sure you're a financial institution, but if that's how you wish to approach it, that's fine. But I would advise you have a provision for family and friends. Keep 20% of that balance all the time. From there, you can spend. If it's finished, it's finished. Then I would advise that you live within your means. Now, this becomes a bit of a difficulty. Mostly when you put your savings away, you are forced to live within what is available. Some may say, well, it's not enough. By the time I am in the third week, all my money is finished. Well, if your money is getting finished in the third week, it's probably a sign that you are living beyond your means. It's probably a sign that you are living beyond your means. If your children's school fees come and you always have to borrow to pay it, it's probably a sign that you are living beyond your means. Please, living within your means, not being able to afford a certain lifestyle doesn't mean you're poor. It simply means you're not there yet. So don't force yourself into it. And if you think it is too hard, think about the person who earns 1,000 cedis, 800 cedis, 2,000 cedis. They are still able to survive all the same. So it's possible to live within your means. Cut off the excess is the next point I want to make. What you want to do is that you want to look nice. You want to appear nice. You don't want to unnecessarily look expensive. For example, and for those of us who are guys, I'm not sure how many of you here can tell the difference between a 5,000 cedi suit and a 1,500 or a 2,000 cedi suit. I can't tell much of the difference. And so what's the point when a 5,000 cedi suit, when nobody is even asking about the price? For the ladies, well, maybe I am blind, but I think that there isn't much difference between a 1,500 cedi wig and perhaps a 10,000 one. I don't know. But the point I am making is that nobody looks for the price tag on what you are wearing or what you have. If it's a vehicle, we all know that Benz is more expensive than Toyota. But if it is something that you can cut off the excesses on, please cut off the excesses. And I think it will help you save some few coins. Avoid friends and places that influence you to spend more. Thankfully, you are in Rotary. There are very valuable lessons and values you guys share. It's a good place to be. But if you have other friends, especially outside of Rotary, and every Friday you are doing a sit-in, and whenever you do the sit-in, the bill is on you, I'm not sure it's the wisest thing to do. In fact, it is not wise to sit out with friends on a Friday night, on a payday, or a day before your payday. It's not advisable at all. If you want to do a sit out with friends, I will advise you push it 2 weeks or 3 weeks into the month, around which time you would have known whether you have the luxury to spend the money you want to spend or not. But please, if you have friends, you have places that when you go, you can't resist but to spend, I encourage you to avoid those. I'm not saying that be at loggerheads with them. Please, they are good friends. They are just not good for your finances. It's as simple as that. The other thing I would like to suggest is that you should go window shopping sometimes. You'll be surprised that sometimes some of the things are very, very cheap. You'll be very much surprised. Very much surprised. My wife and I did some window shopping at the Nyungwa Junction Mall, and we were surprised that the kids' clothing over there were far cheaper than where we were getting it from, and the quality looked better. And that's where we got all the kids' clothes in December last year for the children for this year, 2024. As for prices, please. If you go ask for a price, you are not under obligation to buy. Hello? Hello?
Please go ahead, sir.
Right. Sorry, I thought I had exceeded my time. I just checked. I think I still have some few minutes. Thank you. So if you ask for price, you are not under obligation to buy, please. It's your money. Don't feel compelled to buy, especially for the ladies. They go to market and then they ask for a price, and especially the way some of the market women will be shouting at you, why did you ask for the price if you didn't want to buy? It's your money, and you're not. It's not for the seller to insist that you buy because you've asked for the price. So asking for price is not under. You are not under any obligation to, but the lawyers may be here. You probably can educate me better, but I don't think if you ask for a price for anything, you are under obligation to buy. So don't be quick or don't feel compelled to buy because you have entered the shop. And once you have entered, you must buy. There's no rule that says that once you have entered, you must buy. So when you ask for price and it's too expensive, please walk away gently. There's no crime in that one. Go shopping with a predetermined list and prices. It can be on your phone. It can be a mental note. Mostly when you go to the market, you may be tempted. Everything there looks like you need it. Everything there looks like you should take it home. I typically go shopping with either a list on my phone or at least a mental note. If the things I'm buying are more than 5, I have a list on my phone. If they are less than 5, at least I make a mental note. And I've predetermined what price I'm going to pay for each of them. And so when I go and the price is too much, and then it is beyond a certain amount that I can afford, quickly I change my mind and then I go get it elsewhere. Please, it's your money. Spend it the way you want to spend it. Don't be under any pressure whatsoever. So go shopping with a predetermined list. If you touch it and you don't want to buy it, move on. If you look at the price is too high for you, move on. That's the way it's done. Keep on you the cash you need at a time with little allowance for emergencies. I do this a lot. When I'm going to work in my wallet, I have just about what I need for 2 days maximum. Sometimes I have what I need for a day only, and then I put the rest on my mobile money. This day, it's easier to even pull from a bank. Thankfully, my workplace, just at the entrance, there is a mobile money vendor. So if it becomes necessary to withdraw money on urgent basis, I can easily do that. If it's necessary to withdraw money, ATMs are all over. Don't keep too much cash than you need. Otherwise, the temptation to spend is that is when you begin to say that Motia Fausika. For those of you that understand, please forgive me. Motia is dwarfs. You will say that the dwarfs have taken your money, and then you start praying all manner of prayer as if your wallet is. Then the pastors will be telling you how your pocket has been. There are holes, spiritual holes in your pocket, and there are spiritual holes in your wallet whatsoever. There are no spiritual holes. I can guarantee what the Motia people hate is pen and paper. If you keep records of all the money you are spending, anytime you spend, note it on your phone. By the time the day ends, you know where the money went, and you know that there was no mutia involved in the money vanishing. The next thing I want to talk, the last but one thing I'll talk about is keep records of all income and expenses. Keep records of all income and expenses. When you have a budget, the budget has 3 columns. There is a budget column, there is an actual column, and there is a balance column. You need to keep all 3 columns of a budget. The actual column is for keeping records of your expenses. As and when you spend, and I advise, use a spreadsheet. As and when you spend, add them, tally them in the actual column and see the difference. When you do this from time to time, you know what is left on your budget to be spent, and then you will be guided and you know that you are exceeding your budget for
No.
the last thing
Yes.
I'll talk about. Sorry? Hello? Can I go on, please?
Please go ahead, sir.
Right. The last thing I'll talk about is that if it's tempting, if whatever is before you that you want to spend money on is too tempting, please remember why you set the budget in place in the first place. In other words, always keep the financial objective in mind. This goes back to the very first thing I said, that start the budget with a financial objective for the period, and always keep this objective in mind. So when it's getting tempting, when it's getting difficult to live within the budget, just remember why you started in the first place. Because of time, I'll pause here. I believe some of these can help all of us. If there are questions, I'll be happy to take them. Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. That was very, very insightful. I picked a lot of stuff there, and I'm sure that a lot of people did as well. But if you don't mind, I would like to start with the questioning. Mr. Speaker, are you there?
I'm here, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Okay, good. So, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people might have a similar question, like for the married folk, where their spouses keep telling you the prices keep changing. What do you do in that instance? Are you allowed to go over your budget, or you have to basically cut down on your? What's the best way out?
Thank you very much.
You normally have to have, say for example, you're supposed to have, say, a bag of rice every month in the house. Okay.
Yeah.
But now that bag of rice, which used to be, say, 100 cedis, is now 150 or 200 cedis. What do you do?
Yeah, thank you very much. That's a very, very valid question. Indeed, I'm married. I have 3 kids. I have a 9-year-old. I have a 3-year-old, and then a 6-year-old. Of course, especially during the latter part of 2022, if you all remember, November, December, that was when, in fact, October, November, December 2022, that was when our inflation skyrocketed. We hit 54% inflation around that time. And I remember, let me tell you this funny story. One time when I came home, my wife was complaining the price have gone up. Me too, I knew price have gone up, but I was not minding. One day when I came back, there are some provisions she buys from particular shop, and she usually buy them for around 400 cedis. One day when I came home, the chair or the seat in the hall that I typically sit in, I saw a receipt of the list of things. And this time when I checked, it was 700 cedis. Guess what? I quickly jumped from that chair and went and sat in another chair, pretending like I had not seen it. The point I'm making is that it's true. Prices are going up, no doubt about it. But the question is, has your salary gone up too? Your salary hasn't gone up. And everybody is living in the same situation. The truth of the matter is that we all are like the frog. We tend to adjust to the condition over a period of time. And so what I would rather say, in fact, I had a very, very serious conversation with my wife, and the conclusion we came to was that we had to identify where we were having a lot of waste in the house, waste in the food and all of that. Sometimes how you pack your plate, and every time you are eating, there is something left and all of that. I know sometimes the escalation is so high that you cannot do anything about it. You may have to increase. But if you are going to increase salary, how do you call it? The housekeeping money every time there is one inflation or the other, then it means that what eventually you do is that you deplete your savings. And where you have what helps you is when you have a savings objective. For example, if you are building or if you are saving towards a business, then you know that you may have to absorb some pain in order to survive. So I would rather, instead of increasing the amount that comes in, I'd rather you look at where there may be loopholes that you can tighten and see how best you can live within the budget. And I believe me, it will be difficult at start, but eventually you will be able to adjust. That's how at least my wife and I did. We looked at where we could plug in some loopholes, and we were able to still survive. Eventually, I needed to make some little adjustment to it and increase the amount a little bit, but it wasn't what she was initially asking for. And we still managed to survive, and we are doing better. And nowadays, I've even seen that it's like she has managed better. I need to go back and renegotiate and maybe take back some of the additions or the increment that I did. I hope that helps her.
Yes, thank you very much. That was a very, very interesting answer coming from the perspective of a married man.
It's not easy, but it has to be done.
Yes, of course, of course. Thank you so much for the answer. The floor is open for questions. Kindly raise your hand or prompt me in the chat box, and I will let you have the floor. Question time.
I think the ladies are not happy with the answer I gave.
Okay, PA call. Please unmute and ask your question.
Okay, it's a combination of comments and maybe a question. And Francis, thanks so much for this. Very, very practical. I used to do this many years ago, and people were always wondering that whether I was a crazy man. I used to tell them I record my expenses every day. My income generate along the line, apart from maybe salary every time. They said, I say, when I drink beer, I record it. I can tell everybody on the call today how much I spent yesterday. But it takes a lot of this. I don't know how you're going to encourage us to be able to do that. Because I don't do Excel. I don't use Excel, but I use a normal diary. I put on the table where I sit every day, every evening, first thing, everything I spend, I record. End of the month, add up everything, look at my budget, and move on. So what you say is very right. If you don't plan properly, and also the answer you gave not long ago, prices will keep on going up. Things will change. You might not catch up with your salary. So what do? You got to look at your waste. Recently, I realized that, look, I'm on retirement. My power levels, electricity is going up. Why? Because I'm at home most of the time. Okay. So I consulted the electrical people. They say switch most of the gadgets you don't need off. Just switch them off. Don't put them on because you're in the house. Okay. So I want you to find maybe in very simple terms how we can get disciplined about what you're talking about, because without that, we keep on complaining through our lives. Your salaries will never be enough. The money you generate will never be enough, because the more you get, maybe the more higher objectives in terms of what you want to acquire in terms of assets and things come up. So I thank you for that. But in these times where, that's the question, in these times where people say that they're not making enough money to survive, how can they drop a budget when I'm earning, let's say, 1,000, and I put out everything and it's going to amount to like 1,500? How do I go about that? Ghanaians magicians, like you keep on saying.
Thank you very much. There are no magicians anywhere. It's a principle of cutting your coat according to the size of your cloth rather than the size of your body. I mean, I always use the example where about 2015, I was working in the hospital as an accountant. As at that time, I was earning about 3,400. There was this guy who was earning, his name is Osei. He was earning about 700 cedis, and Osei had 2 wives and about four children or so. And Osei didn't come to me complaining that he can't take care of his wife. In fact, he had a side chick as well, in addition to his 2 wives. But Osei was on 700 cedis and he was surviving somehow. And so me too, I was on 3,400 and I was still complaining. My point is that the problem we have is that when our salaries increases, we tend to increase our lifestyle. That's where the problem is. And so your salary is increased, and then all of a sudden you think you don't deserve to be in a 1-bedroom house. You need to move to 2-bedroom. For what? Meanwhile, your kids are all under 5 years. And then all of a sudden you think that you need a room for every child. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but can you afford it? That's the question. All of a sudden, your children don't need to go to the school where you are paying school fees of 1,000 cedis a term. You want to go to a school that pays 5,000 cedis a term. You wonder what's the difference. Somebody told me those schools that have been paying $5,000, do they also teach them A for apple, B for ball? Because he can't understand why you should pay 5,000 for A for apple, B for ball. And somebody is also paying 400 cedis, A for apple, B for ball. In other words, that's why I talk about cutting off the excess. Most of the things that give us problems financially are excesses. And I think if we really pay attention to it, but then you can only cut off the excess when there is something driving you. And that thing driving you is a financial objective you set for yourself. And if we had time to go through budgeting process in itself, I would have walked you through how to even cover all of your expenses for a period so that you don't miss anything. But if you want to start with an objective in mind, that this is what we are saving towards, you'll be surprised that you find more ways of cutting the excesses and then reserving more so that the project can be completed in the next 5 years, in the next 3 years. I'm working on a project. I spoke with the architect and I gave him how many years I want to do this and every year what I want to do. He was surprised because he said that is the advice he struggles to give people. And he is surprised that I came to him with already a plan in mind. And so now I'm saving. It is paining me. It's costing me a lot, but I know what I'm saving towards. And so I think that if you start your budget with an objective in mind and you keep your mind, that's why I started with that as the first point. And
Hello? I think we lost the speaker. Hello? Okay. All right, no problem. Fellow Rotarians and guests, are there any more questions? Hello, can you hear me?
I'm sorry.
Hello?
yes, sorry, I lost the connection earlier. So I think that would be my response to the question that was asked earlier. Hello, can you hear me, please?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, Yeah, we can hear you. That's fine. Okay.
So Rotarian President, Rotary time, we have 10 minutes to go.
Okay. Can we, are there any more questions? If there aren't any more questions, let's have the vote of thanks by Jennifer. Jennifer, are you available?
Yes, I am happy. Rotarian President, fellow Rotarians and guests on the call, and Rotaractors. I'm sure you'll all agree with me that this has been a very important topic, especially as, you know, we're not in normal times and money is very hard to come by these days and doesn't stretch as far. And so we're happy that this talk has come to us at this time, and I pray that we'll all be disciplined and, you know, follow the suggestions or the pointers that we have received today. So on behalf of the Rotary Club of Accra-Spintex and all the other clubs that have joined us today, we wish to say a very, very big thank you to our speaker. And may we all unmute and sing for him, for he's a jolly good fellow.
Okay. After your lead, PP Jennifer.
For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow. And so say
all of us.
And so say
All of us. Hooray.
And so say all of us.
Hooray.
He's a good fellow. He's a jolly
For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. Which
Nobody can deny. Thank you very much, Rotarian President.
Thank you very much, PP Jennifer. Just by the way, Mr. Speaker, I have a question for you.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Have you heard about the four-way test, sir?
I have, sir. I have.
Okay. I'm asking because of the receipt that you saw on the chair, and you acted as if you hadn't seen it. So, you know, anyway, that's just by the way.
Sorry.
That's okay. Right. Mr. Vice President.
Rotarian President.
You are the fine master for the day, so the floor is open to you. Can we please make the Momo number available on the screen, please?
PPLE, can you please display nicely our Momo number on the screen? Beautifully.
I think that PPLE is not on the call at this time. However, I don't know if it's possible for this to be displayed.
I'll put it in the chat box.
Okay, excellent. Okay, PP Albert, please go ahead with your finds.
Yes, thank you very much, Rotarian President, fellow Rotarians and guests. Rotary time. We have barely 6 minutes to go, and okay, so straight to the point, Rotary President. When the question was asked about the personal budget and then contribute towards the discussion, when I counted, only 5 persons responded. We were at the point in time we were 23 on the call. So and now we are 21. So if only 5 persons responded, but at least it means we have 16 people on the call who did not contribute towards the discussion. So I want to ask for a generous donation from all 16 persons here present. Let's make some generous donations to the MOMO account that's displayed in the chat box. Yes, so in the chat, we have the numbers. We have the numbers in the chat box 0558645863. RCA's MOMO account. So please let's all make some generous donations into the account. If myself, the fine master, I'm donating 50 cedis. So thank you very much, Mr. President. Let's do donate.
Well done, Mr. Fine Master. Let me match up with your generous donation as well. I am also going to make a donation of 50 cedis to the fines. Okay.
So please let's keep the money flowing.
Flowing, right. Now we Rotarian Getty, are you on the call?
Alfie, she says she's not in a stable environment, so I'll do that for her.
Okay, so let's as we make the MOMO payments, we collect the MOMO payment. Please let's work on the attendance.
Okay, thank you very much, Alfie. At the peak of the meeting, we were 24, and then we had 12 Rotarians from Rotary Club of Accra-Spintex, making 46.15%. And then we have some visiting Rotarians or Rotractors. We have our own Ejina from Accra Airport. We have RP Joanna from Rotary Club of Accra, Legon East. We have Rotarian Lamisi from RRC. We have Rotractor DRRE Solange from Rotary Club of Tema Meridian. We have Rotractor Ellie from RMU. Rotractor Kofi Owusu from RMU. Our speaker, Francis Atta. And then few which I don't know whether they are Rotarians or Rotractors. That's DM Kenneth, Ajikwe, Jifa. We have PE Scourgings from Rotary Club of Accra, Legon East. We have AC, Ipia Safo, and PP Rotractor Vincent Lawe. Thank you very much, Alfie.
Thank you very much, Rotarian Felix Podo, for the attendance. I also like to thank all our partners that are going to partner with us and on the beach cleaning project. We are still receiving payments. The deadline for payment for partners is the 15th of February, and I encourage all Rotary clubs that have expressed interest to make their payments hopefully before then. Rotarian Vice President Albert, we thank you. PP Ellie just confirmed that he has received 50 cedis indeed from you. I haven't made my payment yet, but I'll be doing so as soon as the meeting is over.
I'll do as a fine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that I'll do 100 cedis MOMO as a fine.
Thank you. Thank you very much
for talking.
Excuse me, RP. I just realized I was also named as one of the unknown people. So just to ask Rotarian Felix to put me in as a member of the Rotary Club of Accra-Spintex, please.
That's right. Okay, so I can see.
Thank you.
Okay, Rotarian Podo, please bear in mind that Rotarian Ajekwe is indeed a member of our club.
Oh, okay. Well noted. Thank you.
Now known as Rotarian Rastakwe. So, yeah. Now, do we have any announcements from any visiting Rotarian or an announcement from any clubs that are here? Pierre, did you want to say something?
No, I'm okay. I mentioned it earlier on.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. PPLE. Okay, PPLE is not there. Okay.
To say something. The question I have is, in terms of the beach project, what is the final budget, and about where are we now, so that we know how to go about the contributions for the rest?
I think that, well, thank you for your question. I think that the best person to answer this question will be CP Shika. CP Shika, are you please on the call? I don't think she's on the call right now, but okay. I would definitely reach out to her and make sure that, or better yet, just reach out to her and she will furnish you with that. Vice President Albert, could you please depart us?
Thank you very much, President, fellow Rotarians and guests. Please charge your cups, glasses, and whatever you have. And join me, drink a toast to the Rotary Club of Accra-Spintex and Rotarians, wherever they may be, even in space. Yes. Rotary, let me see. We've been eliminated from the AFCON, but you are still supporting hard. That's good. So a toast to all Rotarians here present and Rotary International. Thank you very much, Rotary President.
Thank you very much, Rotarian Vice President Albert Agmenu. That was very classy. Thank you so much. Rotarian Lamisi, please unmute. Let's hear your voice a bit.
Hello, good evening from Freetown.
Wow. I need to visit Freetown, man. I hear you guys have some very nice fish there.
Not just fish, seafood is in abundance. The expense is small, but it's still better than Accra.
Oh, really? It's cheaper in Freetown?
It's cheaper in Freetown than Accra, yes.
So that means Accra is probably one of the most expensive cities on the West Coast. Is that correct?
I mean the fish, too. Other things are expensive.
Okay, all right. So, but in general, is Freetown cheaper than Accra?
Not exactly. You know, Accra has a lot more service, so you tend to spend a lot of money because you have to pay for a lot of things. But here, public transport is mostly keke and motorbike, and those ones are really cheap. But if you do taxis, the few taxis that are here, they are quite expensive.
In fact, Rotary President, we don't have the levels of corruption we have here in Ghana compared. It's nowhere compared to that of Syria. Ghana, we are too corrupt. We are too corrupt, so our corruption affects all our prices as well.
What about you?
I have an office in Sierra Leone, as I know what I'm talking about. Ghana, we are too corrupt.
Have you seen that? Okay, maybe we are more sophisticated. You see, the more money you can stop. Here they don't have the way people know. Can you imagine that a clerk in Parliament will employ his wife as a staff of Parliament when she works in another government agency, and then she gets paid, allowances, and everything. So every month, Madam takes 2 salaries from government, same government. How that is possible, I don't know.
But their own is still small compared to ours. With the whole ground, Ghana with the whole ground.
It's because we have a lot of money and we are certainly 8.5. There are some bills that are left for the children, and there is some of development around.
Yep.
You, I don't. Well, it's not teaching you. Please do reach out anytime you're in Twitter.
That's right.
Rotarian Vice President Albert, in fact, when you're going to Twitter, if you can, I really want to. It's one of the places I haven't been on the West Coast.
Hello.
Oh, okay.
I've not been to.
We'll plan a trip together.
Yeah, we should. Maybe some few days, Charlie.
We'll
Just go cool off.
We'll do Freetown and Monrovia.
Freetown, Monrovia, yeah, that would be cool. Yeah.
Everything that you are planning. I hope you take your wife, said you budgeted for it. Budget.
No, I'm not taking my wife. For information.
We've not budgeted for our wives.
When you take your wife, everything is double.
Double. I've been to Freetown, which is not bad. Of course, Ghana is way ahead.
Oh yeah, in terms of development, we are way ahead anyway.
Way ahead. But you are right. The food is nice.
Yes.
Yeah, way ahead.
That's fine. Okay. So, fellow Rotarians and guests, I'd like to take leave of you. I need to go do some babysitting. I'll catch you on the flip side. Thank you so much.
Mr. President, did you do budget for that?
Charlie, no be easy.
Bye-bye, everyone.